Welcome everyone to Storytime with the Ann Arbor District Library. My name is Christopher and I'm so happy to be with you again today. Many of you know how I like to begin Storytime with a little song called Clap Everybody and Say Hello. And if you don't know how it goes, you will by the time it's over. Let's give it a try. Clap everybody and say hello, say hello, say hello. Clap everybody and say hello. Welcome to Story Time. Let's give it a try with the banjo, shall we? Clap everybody and say hello, say hello, say hello. Clap everybody and say hello. Welcome to Story Time. Now, you know, I like to say hello in lots of languages around the world, so let's say hello in French. Bonjour. Clap everybody and say bonjour, say bonjour, say bonjour. Clap everybody and say bonjour. Welcome to Story Time. Let's say hello in Spanish. Hola. Clap everybody and say hola, say hola, say hola. Clap everybody and say hola. Welcome to Story Time. One of my favorite ways to say hello is in Czech. Ahoy. Clap everybody and say ahoy, say ahoy, say ahoy. Clap everybody and say ahoy. Welcome to Story Time. Welcome everyone to Story Time. We're going to have a great time today. But first, before we begin our stories, you know how I like to start things out with a little activity? Let's get some blood moving and some energy out with "Oh, Duke of York!" And here he is now. Wait a minute, I think last time I said we were gonna go super fast this time. Well, remind me, and we will. Let's start. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. I think we can pick up the pace a little bit. Okay, let's do it. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up or down. Super turbo fast! The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and when you're up, you're down. And when you're halfway up, neither up or down. Did I lose you? Something tells me you could have gone even faster. Well, next time we're going to crank the speed up as high as it'll go. I hope you enjoy that. Okay, let's find out what our stories are all about today. If only I had a clue somewhere. Oh, I think my clue fell out of my hat. Did it? It was there. It was on the back of my shirt all along. Okay. Well, let's see what it is. Whoop, no, that's not. I think it's upside down. Oh, there, I got it. H. All of our stories today have something to do with the letter H. I wonder what that could be. Do you know any words that start with H? Well, there is hash browns. Hash browns starts with an H. Hydrax. A hydrax is a cool animal. That starts with an H. And we've also got hydrangeas. Hydrangeas start with an H too. But we don't have any stories today about hash browns, hydrax, or hydrangeas, although that sounds like an awesome story time. We do have stories today all about hats. Whoops, my hat broke. All about hats, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. Our first story today, it's a doozy by Brian Wan. Hooray for hat! Let's see how it goes. Once, Elephant woke up and he was not in a good mood. In fact, Elephant was feeling downright grumpy. Did you ever have a day like that? Nothing seems to be going right. Well, that's how Elephant woke up. Things were not going his way, and everything seemed to be making him madder and madder. And then the doorbell rang. Ding dong! Oh boy, who could that be, thought Elephant. Elephant was not in the mood for any company. He went down to open the door, and the strangest thing was lying there. It was a box, a package, and he didn't know who it was from. But it was addressed to him, so he opened it up, and inside he saw something quite lovely and beautiful. It was a hat. And as soon as Elephant put the hat on, he was feeling better and happier and jolly. And all of a sudden, his whole outlook on the day changed. And he was feeling pretty good. And he thought, you know what? There's something else in this box. I think I should take it over to my friend Owl's house. And I want to share something with Owl. So indeed, Elephant went over to Owl's house. And you know what? Owl was not feeling particularly cheery that day either. In fact, Owl was really not very excited about having any company, just like Elephant had been. And Elephant rang the door and said, Owl, check this out. And Owl said, oh, I don't feel like company today. And Elephant said, no, Owl, look in this box. And Owl looked in the box and he pulled out something that certainly cheered him up, a jaunty cap. It almost looks like a fascinator, which are tiny, tiny little hats. But this was something that cheered Owl up so much, he wasn't grumpy anymore. He was quite jovial. Well, Elephant and Owl thought, we've got to keep sharing our joy with everyone. And so they decided to go visit their friend Turtle. Now, Turtle had been down in the dumps for a little while, and he didn't see any way out of being so sad. But when his friends showed up, they said, Turtle, you are gonna love this package that we've got for you. Why don't you look inside and see if you've got something that strikes your fancy? And Turtle thought, I don't know. I don't really like anything in here. Oh, what's that? And Turtle found a beautiful cap. As soon as he put it on, he was absolutely delighted. He was so cheerful, and he said, I love my mortar board, because that's the name of that goofy hat. It's cool, a mortar board. So Turtle, Owl, and Elephant all decided to take another little trip. And this time, they went to see Zebra. Now, Zebra had been kind of grumpy too that day, and he thought, oh, look who's coming. I suppose I'll have to make some food for everyone. And he opened the door and he saw his friends there and they said, "You've got to look and see what's in this box." And Zebra said, "No, I don't want to." And they said, "No, really, just take a look. You can pick out something for yourself." And Zebra looked and he said, "Oh, I have always wanted a crown." And pretty soon, Zebra was marching around so proud and happy of his new hat. But, Zebra said, "I can't be completely happy unless my other friends are happy too." And Giraffe has been really quite grumpy and upset. I think we should go and see Giraffe. Well, they didn't have a lot of hats left. And so when they got to Giraffe's, they had to cook up a plan and they said, "Let's give Giraffe everything we've got and see if that cheers Giraffe up." And Giraffe opened the door and there were Giraffe's friends. And they said, "Giraffe, Giraffe, we know you've been really upset lately. Why don't you try these caps on?" And Giraffe said, "I don't know." But pretty soon, Giraffe had put on a crazy cap with a mechanical bird and a crown and a mortar board and a party hat. Whoa, there are so many caps, they're falling off the board. And Giraffe looked in the mirror and started laughing and laughing and couldn't stop. And everyone had a wonderful day and no one was grumpy anymore. The end. I hope you like that story by Brian Wan. It's one of our favorites. Okay, I think it's just about time for another energy break. And who do we usually get with that? Have I forgotten? Maybe you could remind me. I think, let's see, do we have a visiting owl? No. Orangutan? No. Chipmunk? Oh, I know who we usually get. It's Ralph. Let's call Ralph. Oh, Ralph! Do you see him? Oh, Ralph! Oh, hey, Ralph! You startled me. You showed up so quickly. How you doing today? Fine. Okay. Well, listen, I thought it'd be kind of fun if we get some energy out and some blood moving. And let's get some exercise in. Are you ready? Okay, great. Here we go. Oh, dance any way you want to. Dance any way you please. Dance any way you want to. But stop when I say freeze. Oh, hop any way you want to. Hop any way you please. Hop any way you want to. But stop when I say freeze. Ralph? Oh, swim any way you want to. Swim any way you please. Swim any way you want to. But stop when I say freeze. Keep floating though. Oh boy, Ralph. All that swimming and hopping and dancing have kind of tired me out. How are you feeling? Hungry? All right, listen, you nibble while I sleep, okay? Yeah. All right, here we go. Oh, sleep any way you want to. Ralph, sleep any way you please. Sleep any way you want to. Oh, but stop when I say Breathe. Oh, oh, that yelling woke us up. All right. I think it's time to get on with the show. All right. Thanks, Ralph. I'll see you later. Okay. I've got one more great story to tell you today. This is a classic by Esfir Slobodkina, Caps for Sale. I hope you enjoy it. Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the streets and he walked down the streets calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as to not disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? Hydrangeas? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them, "you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, zzz." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, zzz." Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, zzz." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, zzz." At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. All right, we've got time for one quick song. Are you ready? It's the pirate song. "Oh, when I was one, I sucked my thumb on the day I went to sea. I jumped aboard a pirate ship, and the captain said to me, 'Oh, you'll go this way, that way, forwards, backwards, over the deep blue sea.' When I was two, I tied my shoe on the day I went to sea. I jumped aboard a pirate ship, and the captain said to me, 'Oh, you'll go this way, that way, forwards, backwards, over the deep blue sea.' When I was three, I tapped my knee on the day I went to sea. I jumped aboard a pirate ship, and the captain said to me, 'Oh, you'll go this way, that way, forwards, backwards, over the deep blue sea.' So long, everyone. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.